What's it like dancing in Salt Lake City? You know, because people
danced
around the
there.
world have this perception that it's like the conservative, you know?
Yeah, okay. You want me to answer right now?
Yeah, go for it.
What's it like dancing in Salt Lake City? It's actually really cool because, you know, even though there's a very conservative community here, there's also a bunch of freaks. And the freaks all hang out, and it's actually, there's a cool underground scene here in Salt Lake City.
Describe it. You know, because I'm meeting with the owner tonight of this wild club I went to called Area 51, and the place was packed. There was like no parking, line down the street, and then when I left, when they closed, it was like people couldn't even drive because.
Yeah.
So they have a fetish night there too.
Area 51 has a big fetish night. I like to go to that. I just went to a party actually last weekend up in Park City, and my girlfriend was actually a live fetish platter, and we rolled her up in saran wrap and put chocolate syrup on her lap, and it just kind of naturally formed a ball right there, and then strawberries everywhere, and we laid her out on this tray that's made with like a medical tray with wheels, and she just stood there like everything as a platter and just covered in chocolate and fruit and cheese, and it was pretty sexy. And that was a fetish party, and there was a lot of costumes and fire performance, and
wow.
just last weekend I saw Canal perform, and they're like total tribal fire performers, you know. Burning Man scene, there's a lot of burners here, there's crazy parties.
Burners?
People from Burning Man, they go to Burning Man.
Describe Burning Man.
I went to Burning Man last year for the first time, and
where is it?
It's in the Black Rock Desert in Nevada, right between Nevada and California. There was 30,000 people there. It was very, very cool. Just amazing interactive art. Just fun time. I rode my furry bike across the playa and like came upon this furry playa go around, and I just felt like a kid, you know.
Did you get naked? The reason I ask is because this girl went. What?
Everyone there is naked.
This girl came back and she showed us pictures from Burning Man, and there was a scene and we were like, what the fuck is this picture? And they said, oh, it's a barber chair. Some guy, he just shaves girls' pussies. Like, that's his whole thing. He just shaves girls' pussies, like the whole Burning Man event for a week.
Yeah.
And we're like, whoa, that's pretty erotic, man. It's like hardcore. I mean, guys like pay a lot just to see that. This guy's like sitting there with a razor, you know, and so is
because there's no ill intent. Everything is a service that, you know, people are really not like pushy or like trying to get down your pants. It's more kind of just like fun, interactive play. You know, there's some of that too, of course, but like I rode through critical tits, and that's where all the women, I airbrushed my tits, and we all rode our furry bikes on this huge parade around Burning Man, and all the men threw candy at us, and it was
But
really
you
cool.
seem comfortable with your body. You dance on stage, you get naked, you go to Burning Man, right?
Yeah.
You're doing this interview with us.
Yeah.
You know, you don't speak for everybody, but you know, who do you
But
speak
I'm a
for?
Utah girl, homegrown, baby.
Are you Mormon?
I was raised Mormon, so I mean, but I've just always been a Jack Mormon. I mean, most people are Jack Mormons. Well, at least that I know. I don't really know a lot of Mormons.
So,
My dad's really Mormon.
were you a Mormon when you lost your virginity?
No.
You weren't. So, you were a Mormon, you went to church on Sunday, you did everything, but what happened? What changed you?
Just as soon as I actually I grew up in Saudi Arabia because my dad's from Kansas, Utah, but he had a government job, so I grew up there 7 years, and when we came back, I hung out in Kansas for a few years, and I graduated high school when I was 16 in Germany because I got an exchange. And so while I was in Germany, that's when all hell broke loose. I came back a total black sheep, you know.
Why?
Because
the European influence?
I moved out at 17, and I was just like, you know, I'm going to drink, I'm going to party. And at first I totally overdid it because I was like, I can finally party, and you know, I was getting drunk all the time, and now I just am more balanced. But I think I just kind of purged myself of all that religion in Europe.
And you have a little star on your forehead, and it's
I
like
just got back from actually. I was there in Prague and Budapest for a month and
Cool.
Transylvania.
What'd you think? I used to live in Prague.
Did you really? That's
Yeah.
cool.
What'd you
That's
think
really cool.
about it?
I've been to Prague. I lived in Germany for 6 years and I speak German, so I've been all over Europe. But I've been.
Wo hast du geschlafen?
Ich habe in Berlin 6 Jahre gewohnt.
What's the Soviet star doing
This
on
is a
your?
souvenir I brought back from Prague. Yeah.
Excellent. What's up with Transylvania? You doing the whole Dracula thing there?
Oh yeah, I'm totally into vampires. That's another reason I love Marilyn Manson too.
Really?
Yeah. And Sephora Turnus because they're so vampiric.
What does Marilyn Manson have to do with vampires?
He's just scary and freaky, kind of like a vampire would be, you know. My taste.
What'd you think when Anne Rice started drifting over to the Christian side, writing books about the life of Christ, and she's writing a whole series on that now?
Well, I think Anne Rice is a historian, really. And so I think Christianity has an interesting story just as much as any other religion. And so I think Anne Rice is still vampiric. You know, she's not defined by her novels, but she's a great writer.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So, did you go to school? What do you do? I mean,
I
you
went to
traveled,
I
you
went
speak
to hair school in Berlin, and now I'm in nursing school.
So you came over from Europe and you're like, I'm gonna go goth. I'm gonna like get freaky. I'm gonna show up with fetish balls.
I met the goth scene is huge in Germany, you know. So.
Is that when you started your sexual exploitation then, in like Germany?
I've always liked going dancing. Like my boss at the hair school was gay, and so he always took me to all the gay clubs. And so, you know, the clubs in Germany are very like I was in the Love Parade. You know, I was just introduced to just a very open, free kind of liberal way, you know, and it's just kind of cool.
Hey, Salt Lake City is a kick-ass town, and the more I learn about it, the more I see these wide open horizons. But I'm curious, when you talk about Berlin and Transylvania and jet setting, why didn't you move to New York or Miami or
well, I always
like
come
Malibu?
back here. Yeah, that's a good question. I always come back here because my family is here, and just like school, I'm in school now, so I want to go to school here because it's easier for me, the education system. And I think Utah's beautiful. I mean, I was just in Europe, but Utah has the desert, of course.
Well, it's a top act. I can't believe when I just walk out to my car after the interviews, I'm looking at the mountains and just going, well, yeah, this is why Park City is the ski capital of the world, right?
Yeah, it is. Well, I don't know if it is. Snowbird, I mean, I worked at Snowbird for 4 years. I'm also a telemark skier, and I've always loved skiing, so that's another reason I always come back.
But you could be making sick money in one of these towns like LA or Manhattan, and that's never tempted you?
Well, I've only been doing this for 6 months. I'm getting interviewed with MTV right now, but... Okay, I'll be back.
Okay.